ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I am your Ice Dragon, Rayron VR, and welcome to another day of the National Model Railroad Month for November of 2023. And today we're kind of going into our manufacturers. And with this first one, it has a special place in my heart. It allowed me to get into this hobby, and that's why I really wanted to showcase them because they offer a good variety of train sets. Now, obviously, when it comes to the MSRP, it is a little bit high, but if you go around, shop at your local store, or a hobby store, shop on Amazon, and so forth, you can probably get a good deal. I've seen these at Hobby Lobby as well. But with that, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Let's go ahead and look at Bachmann. So Bachmann, again, has a special place in my heart. It allowed me to get into the hobby when it comes to HO scale. They have a good variety of just normal, simple DC sets. If you don't want to get complicated, if you just want to get in there and see a train go around circles, or even yet be able to have a very decent floor layout, then, don't overlook Bachmann. Now, like I said, when it comes to the MSRP, it is a little bit on the expensive side. But again, quality-wise too, not the greatest in quality. But again, it is one of those manufacturers that they focus more on the entry-level side of the hobby, and that's why they're kind of important. That's why I'm showcasing it, because if you don't want to get into the computer aspects, if you don't want to get your model railroading complicated, DC is always a good choice. It's simplistic, it is straightforward and to the point. You put all of these easy track systems together, you snap it together, you put it on the floor, and you are good to go. So again, as you can see, there's a wide variety of train sets that you can grab here. Now, another thing I've got to give Bachmann credit for is their easy track system. When they introduced this easy track system, I believe it was like in the 90s, it was, for me personally, it was revolutionary because I grew up with the Atlas track, and trying to put Atlas on a carpet floor with pets, you can imagine just how much dirt and hair got into the gears of the locomotives, and it was a nightmare to run a floor layout. But when they introduced their easy track system, it did several things. It had the rail joiners on the particular track, and then you were able to snap it together, and it came with its own road bed or cork, depending on how you want to call it, and you're able to actually elevate the track up and off the floor. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to have any hair or anything in the gears. Again, I would recommend trying to stay away from floor layouts as best as you can. But if you have to, this is a good alternate to have. So again, I remember as a kid, snapping all this track together, seeing it go around the Christmas tree, and man, it truly changed the way I looked at this hobby. And again, that's what Bachmann allows you to do. If you just want to keep your layout simple, that's what Bachmann is there for. And I highly respect that. Let's see. So looking at some other things they've got. So one thing to highlight when it comes to Bachmann is that they also have the license to a couple of things. So they have Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, and then the big one here, obviously Thomas. Now, I did grow up with Thomas. I grew up with Shining Time Station, to be exact. And so when Bachmann made the announcement that they're coming out with Thomas and Friends line, I was actually excited because this brought me back to my childhood, all that great escapism when it came to just being a youth. And I was happy that they came out with these because originally, I believe Hornby was the first that came out. And to be honest, they're more for the double O scale gauge. It wasn't really prototypical to the actual show and to the actual models of the show. But when Bachmann came out with these, I've got to give them credit. They are prototypical into the shape, the style. It looks like the actual models from the show. So I do have a couple of these because everyone knows, every little kid knows Thomas. And it's a very important icon because a little kid can understand and correlate with Thomas, and then that could be the gateway into something bigger when it comes to the hobby. And so I've got a lot of stories with Thomas. When I was up in Great Falls on their layout, it was a DC layout, and I ran Thomas during the state fair because it was actually on the fairgrounds for the actual layout. And I tell you what, financially speaking, a lot of parents donated to the museum because their kids recognize Thomas. It is a very important icon in the hobby, and I'm just happy that there's something that we can bring the next generation in with. So Yeah, very excited. I'm glad Bachmann has that lineup. Again, Bachmann is important because it is potentially that gateway to get into the hobby. Just one of many. Again, it's a sandbox. There are many different ways that any of you can get into this hobby. Some other things, they've got Ringling Brothers and Bartman Bailey, which I'm excited for. Again, it's kind of expensive, but like everything else, it's going to come up in price. But I do want to get a few of these cars, though. I think that's pretty cool. Some other things. They do have a DCC system with the Easy DCC. Now, my recommendation is that I would stay away from the DCC system from Bachmann. I did a whole separate video on this. Let me go ahead and bring that up real quick. The DCC system is not really NMRA compliant per se, because it's really it's really complicated to do it for a newcomer of the hobby. Again, I'm trying to keep this more of, this is a particular series that for newcomers. So let me go ahead and open this. So yeah, this is the controller right here. This is actually their newest one, their Easy Command Plus system. I'll leave a link to my video about this, but I don't like it. If you want to get into DCC, then I recommend that you do a little bit of research and find a system that's right for you. I always advocate towards a DCS 52 because it has the same controller if you start from a DC system to DCC. Really, all you got to do is interchange some wires, and it pretty much acts the same. But again, that's a whole nother complicated story that we will go ahead and look at later episode of this series. I don't want to get too into the weeds with DCC at the moment, but yeah, let's go ahead and jump back over to Bachmann here. But yeah, that is... Oh, I do want to give Bachmann another kind of credit here, and that's their one of their diesel locomotives that just came out with. So yeah, their Siemens Charger, the ALC 42 engines. These are really, really good engines. Now, I wouldn't recommend paying $485. Again, this is the MSRP. Again, kind of a downside with Bachmann is that their MSRP price is crazy expensive. But if you go to another website, I went to Train World to buy mine, and I got it for almost 50% off. So it is a really good engine. They use the TCS WOW decoder, which is actually really, really good. I love their sounds. Plenty of features on this, and I would actually recommend it. So again, Bachmann has some gems when it comes to the lineup, but I highly recommend doing your research, figure out what you want to invest in. Again, take a look at Bachmann, and let me know what you guys think. Did you guys start off with Bachmann? For those of you who are in the hobby, let me know in the comments down below. But again, this is Bachmann, one of the entry-level manufacturers when it comes to model railroading. And one thing I do want to kind of caveat is, since I'm an HO scaler, I tend to review HO products, so I don't necessarily talk too much to N scale. So again, I'm a little bit biased when it comes to that, but you can apply this to N scale as well. So yeah, with that, guys, let me know what you think, and we'll go ahead and talk about another manufacturer next time. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.